Hey everybody, today on Henry's HowTos, I'm going to show you how to make a Bavarian cream pie. Let's get straight into it. So what I've got in front of me here is 2.5 cups of plain flour. To this we're going to add about half a teaspoon of salt and about 2 teaspoons of white sugar. Now you can also buy these pie crusts. If you want to do that, there is nothing wrong with that. Obviously it does take longer to make. So if you are buying one, you can just skip this whole part. If not, continue. So next we're going to add in 1 cup of butter. Now obviously I've just cubed this up to make it easy to work with. And all we need to do is just incorporate this with our flour. Now this butter is cold, and that's very important. You can't use soft or melted. So just keep mixing it around. If you prefer, you can do this in a food processor, but it does come out better when you do it by hand. So after about 10 minutes, you should end up with a mixture like this, almost resembling breadcrumbs. And that's what we want. So what we're going to do now is add in about half a cup of water to this. Now this water is straight out of the fridge. It's very important to use cold water. If you're going to use tap water or warm water, this isn't going to work. You just want to mix this all together. And you just want to knead it into a dough ball like so. And that's the result we want. So what we're going to do is half this. So now we're left with 2 halves like so. Now the reason I doubled this is because it's good to always make an extra one and put it in the freezer. That way next time you want to make a pie, the crust is there, you don't have to go buy it. So in doing so, first we need to just roll it out, get it nice and smooth, and you just want to flatten it down just a touch, just so it resembles a disc like so. And we're going to place this straight into some cling wrap. And we'll also repeat the same with this one as well. Flatten it again. And we'll place this one in cling wrap as well, and this one goes into the freezer. As for the other one, we're going to put that straight into the fridge, leave it in there for at least half an hour. So just into a small saucepan here, I've got 2 cups of full cream milk, just on a low heat. We just want to very slowly almost bring that to the boil. So at this point we'll preheat our oven to 200 degrees Celsius, and while we're waiting, just into a bowl, I'm going to crack in 2 eggs. To our eggs we'll add a 1/4 cup of white sugar, and we'll also add in about 2 tablespoons of corn flour to this. Now just using a whisk, we're just going to mix this together. Now we'll add in 1 teaspoon of vanilla extract. If you're using essence, use a tablespoon. And we'll also add in 1 sachet of gelatin. And mix this through as well. And what we're going to do now is add in our milk that we warmed up. So make sure your milk doesn't boil. And we'll just stir that through. And all we're going to do is add this straight back into our saucepan. And we're going to take this back to our stove. And all we're going to be doing is cooking this on a very low heat until it starts to thicken up. So all you really need to do is stir this every about 10 seconds. So we're going to start to get our pie crust ready now. So I'm just using a standard pie flame here. All I'm going to do is just give it a light spray of cooking oil. We'll set that to the side and bring our dough. Now the reason we need to chill it is so it doesn't fall apart when we roll it. So first thing we'll do is add some flour to our surface. And we're going to bring the dough straight out. And just using a rolling pin, we just want to very gently and slowly roll this out. Now we want to try and keep that round shape as well. Now make sure you have plenty of flour on hand, because this will start to stick very quickly, and we don't want that after all that hard work. Now once you feel like you've rolled this out to a decent size, what we're going to do is get our flan. We just want to flip it upside down. Now you just want to see how much it's going to overlap. So I can see just by looking at this, we're at a perfect size. You want to leave around 2 fingers width between each corner. So that works out just fine. Now just here's a little fin, so make sure it's also even, which it is. So we're going to place the dough onto our rolling pin. Roll it up. Bring the flan. Make sure the center's in there too. And carefully, all we want to do is roll the dough back out over our flan. Just like that. Once it's in, you just want to push. Very gently. Make sure you're not stretching it either. Once it's in place, just push on the top to get rid of that excess. Alright, so that's all there is to it. So that part's done. So what we're going to do now is place a piece of baking paper inside, just in the center. And I'm just going to add in some pie weights. Now these are just ceramic balls, or they come in metal as well. What they do, they stop the dough from puffing up, so you're left with a beautiful crust. Now, provided your oven is preheated, we're going to go ahead and put this straight in. So while that's in the oven baking, we just want to leave that in there for around 15 minutes, and then we'll take it out. We're going to get our whipped cream ready. So what I've got in front of me here is 2 cups of cream, and I've also got a 1/4 cup of white sugar here, and we're also just going to add in 1 teaspoon of vanilla extract in, just for flavour. And all we're going to do is just with a hand beater, with a whisk attachment, we're just going to beat this. Now don't do this by hand because it's going to take forever. So on a high speed. Once you see it whip like that, you can stop beating it. Don't overbeat it because it will split. So that's all ready. Alright, now checking on our custard, as you can see it's started to thicken up. And that's pretty much the result we want. So what we're going to do is turn the heat off now. And we just want to let this cool down completely. Okay, so we're at the 15-minute mark now, so I've just taken the crust out. As you can see, the sides are nice and golden brown. Or at least they're getting there. So what we're going to do is let this cool down for around 5 minutes so we can take these weights out. Leave the oven on because it's going to go straight back in. Alright, so I've just taken the weights out and the paper out, so straight back into the oven. We want to bake this without anything in there for around 15 minutes. Or obviously until it's nice and golden brown, completely all over. Alright guys, so once our custard's cooled down, what we're going to do is add in half of our whipped cream that we made. And we won't use the whisk to mix that. We'll fold it in with a spatula, carefully. So our custard mixture is ready now, so all we're going to do now is wait for our pie crust to finish baking. And in the meantime, we'll save this half of our whipped cream to put on top. So both of these can go into the fridge for now. So I've just pulled the pie crust out of the oven, and just look at how beautiful and golden brown that is. So what we're going to do is let that cool down for now. Don't go putting anything into it yet because it's just going to melt. Alright, so our pie crust has cooled down, so I'm just going to pour our custard mixture straight in. Just like so. Now we want to put this straight into the fridge and let it set before we add anything else to it. Alright guys, so I've just taken it out of the flan, and as you can see the custard has set. So what we're going to do is put the whipped cream on now. So I've just put mine into a piping bag with a star-shaped nozzle. All I'm going to do is just go around it like that. Now this is more time consuming, so you don't have to do it like this if you don't want to. But I just want to make it look presentable so I can serve it in my restaurant. If you prefer, just get a knife, just spread it straight on. Alright, and to finish this off, all I'm going to do is spread some shaved dark chocolate on top. And just look at this beauty just come to life. And there we have it. Now don't be too generous with it, you want to make it look nice. Now we're just going to go ahead and put this back into the fridge. Just give it about half an hour before you serve it, just so that cream really just starts to set. And just have a look at that beautiful slice right there. Perfectly set, and that's exactly what we want. So that's all there is to it. As for storage, obviously keep this covered and refrigerated. I would serve this within 3 days, or else it's just going to start to go sour. We definitely don't want that. I hope you like that guys, please like and subscribe. You can follow me on Facebook, Snapchat and Instagram. If you've got any comments or suggestions, just leave them at the bottom, and I'll see you all next time.